What if your entire life came down to one decision, but your head and your heart were at war? That's where Arjun was on the battlefield, surrounded by people he loved, torn by doubt, ready to walk away. And then Krishna speaks. He doesn't give orders, he gives wisdom. And in the final chapter, chapter 18, he brings it all together. Today I'm breaking down that final message, not just what Krishna told Arjun, but what he might be telling us too. Chapter 18 is about the perfection of renunciation, the yoga of liberation. But don't be misled by the title. It's not about giving up life or running away to the mountains. It's about how to live right in the middle of the world with your relationships, your work, and your responsibilities, and still be spiritually free. This is the last conversation between Krishna and Arjun, and in it, Krishna ties together everything he's taught so far, from karma yoga to bhakti yoga, from detachment to devotion. It's the final answer to the question Arjun asked in the very beginning. How do I do the right thing when I'm completely lost? Chapter 18 isn't just a conclusion. It's Krishna's final offering, like a teacher summarizing an entire course. He gives Arjun 3 big insights. These are not abstract ideas, they're real, practical, and they can change how you view your life. Number 1, do your karm, but leave the outcome. We all get stuck in this loop. What if I fail? Will I get the reward? Krishna says stop. Just stop attaching yourself to the results. Doing your karma isn't about doing it for praise, money, likes, or validation. It's about showing up with sincerity and letting go of what's not in your control. This, he says, is true renunciation. Not dropping the work, but dropping the ego inside the work. Like studying for an exam, you give your 100%, but whether it's an A or B, it doesn't define your worth. The effort, the dedication, that is your offering. A true yogi isn't someone who gives up life. It's someone who gives up anxiety while living life. Number 2, recognize the 3 gun in everything. Now let's talk about something Krishna beautifully breaks down in chapter 18. The 3 gunas, or the 3 qualities that influence everything in this material world. Not just our actions, but our thinking, our motivation, our speech, even the kind of happiness we chase. These 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, are like invisible forces. They're constantly flowing through us in different proportions, and understanding them helps us figure out, why do I feel the way I feel? Why do I act the way I act? Let's go through them one by one, the way Krishna explained. Number 1, Sattva, the quality of clarity and harmony. Sattva is purity, peace, and balance. It's when the mind is calm, the heart is compassionate, and actions are done without selfish desires. Krishna says, Sattvic action is done without attachment, with no desire for the fruits, and with a steady mind. Sattvic intellect knows the difference between dharma and adharma. Sattvic happiness is like nectar. It may taste bitter at first, like waking up early to meditate, but it leads to lasting joy. Examples include helping someone anonymously, studying because you love learning, eating clean food with gratitude, choosing truth even when it is tough. You feel light after a sattvic action. Number 2, Rajas, the quality of restlessness and desire. Rajas is movement, ambition, craving. It's not evil, but it's turbulent. It drives us to act, often for results, recognition, or validation. Krishna says Rajasic action is done with selfish motivations, full of attachment, and often results in anxiety or regret. Rajasic happiness feels sweet at first, like chasing pleasure, but turns bitter later. Examples include working just for a promotion, arguing to prove you're right, overeating, binge watching, scrolling endlessly. You might feel high while doing it, but exhausted afterwards. Rajas runs the world right now. Hustle culture, competition, FOMO. Krishna's not condemning it, he's just making us aware of it. Number 3, Tamas, the quality of ignorance and inertia. Tamas is darkness, confusion, laziness, and resistance to growth. It's not just physical tiredness, it's spiritual numbness. Krishna says tamasic action is done out of delusion, without regard for consequences, often causing harm. Tamasic intellect sees wrong as right. Tamasic happiness feels like comfort now, but leads to sorrow later. Examples include ignoring your responsibilities, lying to avoid discomfort, indulging in addiction, or harming yourself or others emotionally. After a tamasic choice, we often feel regret, guilt, or apathy. None of us are just one guna. All 3 exist in us, shifting, flowing, depending on the moment. But Krishna says the goal of spiritual life is to slowly rise from tamas, purify rajas, and live more in sattva. If you ever feel restless, dull, or out of alignment, Pause and ask, which gun is driving me right now? Then make a choice that moves you closer to clarity, even if it's small. The more Sattva grows in your life, the more peaceful your mind becomes, and the easier it is to hear Krishna's voice within you. After explaining everything, knowledge, action, intellect, Krishna gives his final teaching. Just surrender unto me. Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me alone. I shall liberate you from all sins. Do not grieve. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's about realizing that no matter how smart we are, how hard we try, we still can't control everything. So why not rest our heart in the one who holds the universe? Bhakti isn't about rituals, it's about love, about trust, about surrender. Like a child running into their parents' arms, not because they've figured everything out, but because they know they are safe there. This, Krishna says, is the highest form of yoga. Not just doing or knowing, but loving. In summary, Krishna asks us to live with sincerity, act with awareness, and love with your whole heart. And after 700 verses, something finally shifts in Arjun. The confusion, the fear, it lifts. He says, "My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instructions." This is the moment. Not because he got a new strategy, but because he got clarity. Krishna didn't control Arjun, he awakened him. And maybe that's what the Gita wants for us too. Not to blindly follow, but to see clearly. To act not from pressure, but from peace. And that is all for today. If you like this video, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Lakshika Spiritual Vibes.